So welcome to Workbook 1. You can see here that I have my workbook printed out right here. You don't have to have a printed workbook like I have a printed workbook. You're welcome to, for example, use the PDF version in the tablet. I just think that for me, I like the feel of a pen and a piece of paper. Although it's really nice to grade your work using a tablet. So that's why you have to set up your OneNote account if you haven't done that already. So I've got my big old box of colored pencils and pens. You will need some sort of device for coloring. If you're on a tablet, that's no problem. You can use the color options on the tablet. For those of us doing it in person or using, not in person, but on paper, what you're going to want to do is just get yourself some colored pencils. I'm a big fan of these erasable ones right here, just because if I make a mistake, it's easy to correct. So quick side note, you're going to notice this is not required, although a lot of students find it useful, that having some colored pens, particularly black or blue, another color such as green or pink, and then definitely red is useful. Also having a few highlighters, particularly neon orange, and then a neon green highlighter will be useful because I have a tendency to color code my notes. Now, you're not required to color code your notes, but human beings are visual animals and you might find it pretty useful. So let's get started on this section of the notes. So this is kind of an anatomy of our general notebook outline. Notes are going to be worth a certain number of points. Questions will be a certain number of points. Ideally, I'll remember to put that at the top of the workbook. If you don't see it, don't be afraid, like, hey, Dr. E, fix your notebook. And so you will fill out and below and answer the questions. So filling out these notes as we go through the video are also worth points. So let's talk about the 3 big rules for this course. First rule. No stress. And I cannot emphasize that enough. That's a rule in all of my courses. So a big key is I try to teach low stress as much as possible, which means almost everything is fixable. In fact, everything is fixable. Just talk to me. We can work through it. There's no reason not to get an A in this course. Just keep that in mind. Just so if your grade's worrying you, just reach out to me. We'll talk about it. For particularly online, that means that we want a supportive discussion board. You know, it's okay to point out someone's incorrect, but do so in a nice way. Remember, I'm incorrect sometimes. So, and you'll be incorrect sometimes. I know that because we're both human and humans are often incorrect. So we're going to support just a supportive discussion board environment, just like I support an email environment. When I email you or you email each other, please do so in a supportive way, in a way that is, at least intended not to hurt feelings. Same attitude that I expect in a classroom. Rule number 2, I am here to help. So I am really here to help. If you have no questions, I have no job. In fact, this is where your tuition money goes. Okay, the biggest bulk of your tuition money isn't books, isn't buildings, isn't anything else. It's me. It's your teacher. So if you're not using me as a resource, then, you're not using the full extent of your tuition dollars. And I do respect that. I understand that, school is not cheap. And I will try to be as respectful and as helpful as reasonably possible. And number 3 for this course, I even have a thing that says be kind on my cup. So rule number 3 for this course, we can talk or email it out. Okay. In other words, please don't ghost me. Please don't disappear. Please don't stop responding to emails. Even if you're failing another course, that doesn't mean you're failing this course, okay? Trust me, I'm going to try to do my very, very best to make sure that isn't the case. Now, let's talk about my teaching philosophy, my big idea for teaching philosophy. Students learn best in a low stress, supportive environment. Okay? So we can work around just about any problem together. And most things, in fact, everything except the final can be handed in multiple times. So you can turn in Pearson assignments up to 5 times. And I would even let you do more than that, but Pearson sets the limit at 5 times. I don't have to grade it, so I maxed it out. So you can keep on turning it in until the final. And then you can turn in workbooks 2 times. So if you don't like the grade you got back on a workbook, which includes not just your notes, but all your quizzes, except for the final, you can turn those in again and redo them. So this includes hand-graded labs as well. So most of your labs will not be hand graded. Most of them will be Pearson, but this applies to hand graded labs.